to be a long video, like a very long video, and I don't really want to have you guys to go through a video that long. But I'll try to make this as quick as I can. So let's get started. Yeah, I haven't played in like a good minute, so apologize if I'm a little bit slow or don't know what I'm doing. I also noticed they have a few new blocks and stuff. It's pretty cool. Some nice stuff, nice additions. I'll have to make use of those eventually. Let's see here. I don't like this layout, to be honest. Alright, so to show you guys how I like to do my dragon head, I like to make sure that I can either use WASD keys or I can do mouse control. So for mouse control, it's basically this. It's just basically being able to turn the head around. For this side or one side, I like to keep at 0. Um, Mainly because I don't want to deal with motors interfering with each other, or I don't know. It feels I came across a weird um discovery not too long ago that sometimes they kind of bug out. They don't really work well together. Something really important from future me that I didn't say in this video. With these toggle on controls, they can help prevent the build from having spawning in inverted. So like, let's say if you're using mouse controls and you're looking up, one of those motors are going to look down. So this can help prevent that. Have your settings kind of look like this, kind of, and you want to sometimes change whether things are inverted or not, because sometimes that is the fix, is having something inverted. That's also why I have one side like on zeros, because I don't want to mess with those controls as well. It's just less of a hassle. But yeah, you're still gonna sometimes get it bugging out, but really, I wouldn't mess with the controls if it keeps bugging out. If you at least get it to work once, even once, then you're pretty much good. The rest of the time just requires you to keep restarting over and over. But if it keeps not working after like a good 15 attempts, then yeah, you gotta change the settings. Got this little piece here. There we go. So to show how it works, why sometimes that's gonna bug out, I have this little experiment for you guys to show you why that happens and why sometimes you need to invert the controls if it just doesn't make sense to you. So, so originally, you're gonna have a lot of times where your body is over here, like this thing is your body, and that is your head. Starting it up, your motor is going to change directions to go towards that where your mouse is, right? But if you were to change your body over here, the mouse is going to get inverted. It's going to go inverted. Instead, the bottom part of the motor right there, that little flat piece, is going to be directing towards wherever you're aiming. And in turn, that's going to make like the backside here turn wherever. And like even if you're fine with that, even with your like thinking, oh, it's not a problem, like you just turn my face around. No. It's just gonna take the whole body with you. So that is what's happening. a lot of times with this thing, you're probably wondering, well, if I have the body over here, why does it still break? That's because for some reason, even though all the weight is over here, the some of these motors think it's more heavy over here for some reason. I think it's because motor 2s are just typically really buggy, and so when you're spawning in, it may think for a brief second, because this is like fidgeting and going all over the place, that this has more weight or something or more force behind it. So it's probably like, oh, that's heavier than that. That's whatever. Yeah. So if you were like to put a whole bunch of weight, like maybe a blast block right here, if I can get that right here, this would be thinking all the weight is up in front of it, while this one thinks it's in the back of it, and it's just. Now the reason why you wouldn't want this to be anything else, other than motor 2, like let's say a ball joint, um, you don't want it to be that simply because. So that's why I don't use ball joints.
Alright, that is it for the head. The next videos will be for the body, the tail, the legs, and finally the wings. And all together they should get you something that will look a little bit like this. Alright, I thank you all for watching, and I hope this was useful to you today.
Product is the product of the square roots, and the product of two square roots is the square root of the product of the radicand.
You probably have noticed I have a few new things. First of all, delete that propeller that is right in there, and delete this block right here. Replace it both with a super rocket engine with on and off mode only. You're also going to replace this quarter wedge thing here, this little tiny guy in here, or trail, whatever I had there before, and replace it with a small propeller engine facing forward. You're probably also going to notice I have a little compression block tower. I first deleted this little wedge thing here, half wedge, and I deleted the block that's in there. You're going to place this one and go up like this. Make sure these are on transparent and non-collide so they're not like showing
And then another thing is you're going to want to delete the block that's here and replace it with a helium block. This right there. You can delete that half block right there. And you can begin to follow me. So something when making dragons that I always do is I always make a T shape. And this sort of is sort of a map for me how I want to do this. This being like how much I want, like up and down, how thick I want the torso to be. I want this to be the width. Now you can bring these blocks back here to give yourself the length. Doesn't really matter what you do here. You could just use hinges if you want, because these are going to be powerless. Something I like to do here is I like to kind of make a T shape and then bring that out a little bit and then make another little T, and then that will start your tail. And then you can figure out how long you want the tail to be. It doesn't really matter what way you have these facing, but I like to have them all facing forward because I don't want to mess with the inverting stuff. Now, something really cool about trails, if you don't know, is that even though they don't look like they're connecting, they're actually connecting.
Oh, hold on. My fault. Put that upside down, actually. Alright. Oh. Alright, that should be about it. Alright. And after doing a thorough check, you should have just about everything. I'm actually gonna increase the sizing of these. Going to the controls, these are all at 0 except for the max angle. I have the max angle set for 25 because I don't want it flopping all over the place. This is going to be a bit different over here. You're going to have like one side again be zeros because it makes it less of a hassle, and this side is going to be inverted. And that's going to be the settings for everything else. Bottom side, also 0, with that being the max angle. The max angle doesn't really matter as much on this end, but let's see. These are also going to be inverted. All the way till about here. That's when the settings kind of change throughout. So just going back through it for you guys in case you missed. Pause whenever you see one. Okay, that should be it for the controls. Keep in mind, these are not the best controls. I spent a pretty long time trying to get the right controls, but I still have a few flaws in these because it
requires a lot of experimenting to get these controls to go the right way I want them to go. Because as I said before, the head will sometimes like one little section is going to go one direction while the other one's going the other way. It's going to be the same thing over here, and it's not as important over here when it does that, because the build still works quite fine even if this is like all janky. In fact, it actually looks pretty nice. Alright, just a quick preview of the build in case you missed anything. That's what it should look like right now, or what you should have. Guessing if you did the head, that part, have this little section for the future video, and the tail. And I will go into the controls to show you what I have for the controls. Future me, I forgot the helium in here. Just letting you know. This is pretty important. These blocks in here, you're gonna replace these half blocks with helium. What this is gonna do is it's gonna make the backside a little bit lighter. We would probably get something like this. Alright, I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Alright, hello everybody. This is the final part. I know earlier right there you did not hear my voice, but this is basically two videos stuck together. This is the final part. This is it. We finally made it here. I apologize to those who have been waiting for a pretty long while. I have had a pretty busy week myself, so I apologize for that. Let's get started. So for this last part, I want you guys to find this area in here. It'll be helium 2 motor blocks with trails on them. Well, you probably don't have the trails on there yet, but or these little areas here that yet, but I want you to place those two there. And we could start with the wings. Keep in mind this is sort of a prototype, so I am currently changing some blocks as we go through this. Now, these things here aren't very important, honestly. You could just remove them. I was going to use them for something, but they ended up never getting used. So you could honestly just delete those and it'll be fine. So, well, you didn't even build them, but yeah. You just use half blocks there and it'll be fine. So, don't even worry about that. Now, this looks pretty complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. I'm basically just making sure I don't put too many wing panels down, because otherwise that creates too much drag and slows down your build. But yeah, this little shape here, this is what's gonna be giving you sort of that lift. And then just so you don't have like a big hole in your wings or it looks a little weird, you could just fill that area in with wing panels. The wing panels will be what kind of replace that. Just make sure it doesn't go over these blocks or anything. You also want to be picky on the type of blocks you use to fill in the little hole here, because a lot of the blocks can be super heavy and you don't want your wings to be that heavy. All right. And that is about it. I think. Yeah, I think we covered everything. That is everything. That was pretty long, but it's okay. You guys made it. Congrats. You've built the full thing. And now we aren't finished quite yet though. We need to fix some things. We need to get the controls in. So let's start doing that. Keep in mind I am on PC, so if you're on PC you could do these controls or put whatever keybinds you want. If you're on mobile, y'all are just built different. I think you could figure it out, not gonna lie. Kind of harder to do it on mobile, to have all these controls down. I could try to simplify it for you guys. Like, if there's people who genuinely want to be able to do this on mobile, I could try making a video to try to, like, I don't know, I can install mobile Hey guys, I'm gonna cut it there because the video was getting way too long. I mean, it's already pretty long for 46 minutes, so I'm just gonna save you guys the trouble and cut it off for here. So you guys should have everything built. If there are pieces missing, or if things are spazzing out, or if they're not just working right, like they're going the wrong direction, flying all over the place, too heavy, or just looks like a deformed dragon in some kind of way, I will attempt to make videos to resolve some of these questions, because my guess is those three things are probably the main questions you guys are having. So I'll make a video on that. But for the next one, I'm just going to be explaining some of the controls, because I kind of just gave you guys something and you don't know what the controls are, so I'll go do that with you guys immediately. Like, I'm working on it. Welcome back, and we are going to go through the controls and how to get everything to work. So welcome to flying school. When you first spawn in, you're probably going to notice you have a lot of trails that are on. You can fix this by, if you have drag selector, select everything, go up to a trail, change the settings, go to powered off, turn its lifetime down, or transparency down, and they should just automatically be off. However, I have noticed that sometimes they still are on, so you could just press the button you have it off, or have it on, have it as, and it'll be off. And when you spawn in, you're probably gonna notice your tail and your head are gonna go the direction your mouse is going, up and down. Probably not gonna be able to put your head down. Just press G, and you should be able to go down. So then, for flapping, mouse button, X button, mouse button, X button. You can unanchor. Remember that your anchor button is underneath your seat. Begin flapping. Mouse button, X button, mouse button, X button, mouse button, X button. If you put your wings underneath your body and start flapping, you're gonna kind of roll yourself onto your back, and vice versa if you do it the other way around. And to go forward and go faster, you can press the shift button, which is the engines in your head, your torso, and your waist. You're going to go up to about 200 to 300 speed. And if you start flapping while doing that, you're going to probably, like again, earlier I said, there's trails. Just press the button. It should go away. And when flapping and using your engines, you're going to sort of see that speed spike up a lot. So just keep that in mind. So for roll barrels, if you want to roll left or right, just keep your wings straight. A goes this way, D goes the other way. If you have your wings too far up or too down, you're not going to roll at all. So try to keep them as straight as possible when doing it. And you can even do a full turn. Now, if you want to turn even faster, start flapping and turn. Gonna be kind of messy, but you're gonna do it pretty fast. Especially if you aren't going forward at all and suddenly start doing it really fast, and you're gonna be able to immediately turn any direction you want within like a split second. So any jets in PvP, you're gonna turn faster than them. Just letting you know. For people that are wondering why your left wing might go up more than the other, or they might be kind of like they might not be very symmetrical, like this right here, you can fix that by flapping. Now they're straight. This happens because when you put your wings all the way up, they stop. They don't go any further, and so they're completely straight afterwards. Now, for people who don't want to worry about that, you could just put your wings down and activate your spikes. Bring them down. Don't bring them too far down, otherwise you're not going to be able to bring your wings up a little. Now, these spikes are controlled with your L and K buttons, or whatever you have for these here. And what this does is it brings these invisible blocks down to stop the wings from going any further up, while also kind of looking stylish a little bit. Now, if your spikes are the ones that are not very symmetrical, like right now, you can bring your wings all the way up. They should stop on that block there, and you should be able to bring them back down. And that is it for flying. You should be able to do a full barrel roll up, or whatever. I forgot what kind of turn that was. I think it was a G turn. You could do a full roll that way, and should be able to flap. Should be able to turn anywhere. And you can go up to 300 to 400. Now, for some extra cool things you can do, if you remember, we have an S and W button. These buttons are usually used for walking, but if you bring your wings up a little bit, press the S button, you can fold them back a little bit and begin the dive. Now, if you hold the S button with your shift button, you can go to about 400. However, your head doesn't really like it when you do that. So, if you want to bring it back forward, just press the W button, and they should be able to go forward. If it gets stuck, then just try to flap and use your S buttons. And yeah, it's a little broken right there. So if you find yourself glitched out, not being able to move, try messing with the button 5. The 5 is the same button that you're gonna mainly use when walking or switching modes. Think of it as like a mode switcher. So whenever your wings are glitched out or not working, just remember flapping, S and W. Those are your main buttons to get them unstuck if they're stuck somewhere. Or just try switching that. You don't want to hold the forward button too long, otherwise it's gonna kind of glitch, or it might get stuck. Yeah, because this is done because the trap doors there keep your wings from going forward. However, it isn't strong enough or stronger than the wings, so the wings can sometimes break through it. And that is about it for flying. Now, if you want to start landing, you can just keep your wings straight, hold the 4 button, and the wings on your on the tips of your wings, or the panels on the tips of your wings, are going to fold up. The wings on the inside are also going to fold up. And you can start descending. Press X to bring your wings down. And you've landed. Now, these wings fold up so they aren't running into the ground. These fold up so they don't hit your legs. And you can hold V. And then your wings should be able to loosen up a little. You can also do that while in the air as well if you wish. And you're going to notice, in order to move forward, you have to press your forward button and your S button. However, you're not going to really be able to move your arms forward. This is because of the trapdoors. Press 5, and that's how you change your modes into walking mode. You can put them forward a bit. And you're going to notice that a lot of times your wings are going to go over your body, which is going to be annoying. Just bring your wings down, bring the spikes down on top of them, and it will stop them from going too far up. Now, pretty cool, right? However, you want to go faster. So, learn how to press S and W at the same time, or like interchangeably, to start doing this weird jumping motion, kind of like a dog. Now, whenever you press the S button, press your fly button or your shift at the same time. Trying to give yourself a little bit of a faster boost. And this button also is going to be used to turn as well. And you can fly with it, but you won't fly as fast. And so it's going to kind of act as your jumping button as well. So remember that. And if your little wing panels are mixed up or in the way or something's not right, you can simply use A and D to flip them around. If you manage to find yourself kind of flipped or something's not right, just remember to mess with your wings a little bit, like flapping, pressing forward or back, or let's say this happens. You fall on your back and you're not really able to get up. Just use your shift button to bring yourself back up. A and D to level your wings out. And that is about it. The rest is up to you, and you can fix whatever you want. And for tuning, if you want to walk more, just increase the weight in these two little blasts. They will increase the weight on your wings, and so you won't be able to fly as easily, and you're gonna have a little bit of weight there, but it'll keep you from flying off the ground as easily like this. Like, maybe you don't want your wings to go up in the air or want to be flying too much. You don't want to be too floaty. So that's how you fix that. You can also put more weight on the back here as well.